Thank you, Rob. It's a real pleasure to be here and tell you all about how much Westminster has impacted my life as we start the stewardship campaign. Let's think. So over 20 years ago, in 2001, I was looking for a place to expose my children to a faith-based community, and my children were 4 and 7 at that time. And I saw, I guess, an announcement for the Christmas candlelight service here, and I brought them to it, and I was just in awe of this wonderful place. I had grown up in the Catholic faith and basically abandoned it many decades earlier, and it was just a wonderful thing. And I asked, well, how can I get involved? And they said, just keep coming back. So I did, and we all started going to church, and my children went to Sunday school where they made friends and learned a lot, and learning that this church really runs on volunteerism. That's really what makes it tick, in addition to all the great leadership we have. I taught Sunday school for 6 years, which was a surprise to me that I would do that. And I got to learn the Bible through a whole new lens and get to know the children of the congregation, which was really quite a joy at the time. And then just a couple of years later, I was going through a divorce, and I was like, well, gosh, who should I talk to for guidance as I go through this transition? And I talked to my accountant, my lawyer, my therapist, and I was like, oh, the pastor of the church. So that's what they were there for. So I went and came in and talked to Doug Hunneke, who was the pastor at the time, and he was incredibly supportive and gave me some really good advice, and that was just a wonderful thing. And I thought, wow, you can get so much from this church. And that was very helpful. And then as my children evolved, they were in the youth program and as teenagers, and they each went, I think, on 3 mission trips apiece, everything from building homes in rural Tennessee to serving in the Tenderloin in downtown LA. And I really believe that those experiences helped make them the aware and empathetic adults that they are today. It's really touched their lives, and they were so lucky because Bethany was the youth pastor at that time, and it was a great guiding force. Thank you, Bethany. And then as they launched, I kind of pulled back from the church for a number of years and wasn't so involved. But then as I started to face the next transition of my life, which was moving out of my career of many, many decades, I again turned to the church and asked to speak to Rob, who's kind to speak to me, about my transition. He said, a handful of people are going through the same thing, so maybe I should put together a group where you could all gather and support each other, which is just what he did. And it was really quite meaningful because it was not just like a group chat session. We took one whole session for each individual to really drill down into, they got to explore, we got to explore what our history was, what our passions were, and where we are now and where we might go going forward with the group, and it was really quite meaningful. So thank you for that, Rob. So then, I'm not quite out of work entirely yet, but this year I was asked by Bethany if I would volunteer to be an elder, so that's like a whole other, I know many of you here have served as elders, and that's a whole new learning experience, which is really quite wonderful to understand what makes this wonderful church tick and find out all the things that this church is involved with. It's quite mind-boggling when you think about it. You don't really get a sense of it just coming here each Sunday, but there's so much going on. It's really quite inspiring. And I'm very excited because I'm going to be I am in the outreach committee and learning from all the volunteers there who are just veterans of participating in the community and mission work and social justice. So I'm very excited and learning a whole new range of things, a way that we can touch the world, both internally and externally. So it's really been an incredible journey. And what can I say, if Westminster wasn't here, I don't really know how I would fill the void because it's touched so much, so really every corner of my life and that of my family. So I'm very, very grateful, and I hope you'll be generous in your giving, both of your money and of your time. So thank you. Thank you.